Eureka, California. After arriving to Eureka, we did take some time for the daddy bear to heal. We also celebrated his 41st birthday in Eureka and decided what better day to visit the National Weather Service than on the daddy bear's birthday. When we learned that you can schedule a tour and that it was free, we were so excited to go and learn as much as we could.
Because you came in here, obviously.
Yeah, and I'm surprised with the flow rate. I really am. I was like,
yeah, so that's driven by how much water there is inside the bay to go to. And so you see this shoaling, see how it's in a crescent shape?
Right.
That's pretty typical, because what happens is the water's moving fast and it has sediment. So then the water comes in like this, right?
Right.
And the ebb tide goes like this. So when the flood tide's coming in like this, it's actually a northbound current. So if there's northwesterly waves, you actually get wave current interactions right here on a flood tide.
Okay.
So that's not true anywhere.
Tony, being a sailor himself, had so much useful information to share with us, and the kids were so excited to be there as well.
They basically bring the coastal jet down to the surface and then it goes back up again. So it's usually an area sort of like roughly about like this. It's an expansion fan, they call it, another word for it.
yeah.
And so when you round these capes and northwesterlies, you don't want to go through the middle of this.
Right.
So some folks will choose to go way offshore to avoid it, and some folks will.
So you can't really, anywhere in here, you can't really anchor the winder with complete confidence.
Is that pretty consistent that it?
We just
it
want to
stays in
thank
like
Tony and the staff at the National Weather Service there in Eureka for being so kind and accommodating. It was such a pleasure. After visiting the National Weather Service, we took a drive over to the bar. The bar is where the ocean meets the river. And on this day, the bar was acting up. This was the first time we had seen the bar since crossing it on the sailboat. It brought waves of emotion that neither Mark or I were expecting. Mark was injured as we crossed the bar, so I had to steer us across, and I had never crossed the bar before. Thankfully, when we crossed the bar, the ocean state was calm. Seeing the bar in this state definitely stirred up emotions and made us grateful that the bar was in such a smooth state when we entered it.
Staring down the barrel,
We quickly realized that in addition to physical healing, we had mental and spiritual healing that we needed as well.
They're coming down current now.
Huh,
Up to 6 knots.
this is fun. I like it. We didn't know how we wanted to proceed, so we took it one day at a time and just enjoyed everything around us. After several months of what felt like constant hustle and bustle, we finally got to experience a slower lifestyle. Mark healed very quickly, and as we spent more time in Eureka, we began to long for home as the holidays approached. Another thing that we agreed on is if we are going to continue sailing, we do need a larger sailboat. After sailing Lilo, we do feel comfortable purchasing a sailboat that is 40 foot or larger, and we look forward to getting Lilo sold and our future sailboat. Making the decision to go home and saying goodbye to Lilo was very sad for our family. And the wildlife around us had become our family. Packing things up and saying goodbye to Lilo before we left was extremely emotional. But nowhere near as emotional as getting in the car and heading back towards our tiny house. I don't think any of us knew exactly how much we would miss our home. The sailing adventure taught us so much, and we saw so many amazing things. But the number one thing that it taught our family was how blessed we are to have a place to call home. Traveling and seeing the world is one of the things that Mark and I really wanted to offer our children in our homeschooling education. But we wouldn't be able to do that without our home.
What are you doing?
Our whole family experienced a sense of peace, excitement, and joy to be back home and to see the property and our tiny house. We also celebrated Tegan's 8th birthday.
Alright, who's next? Well, that's a pretty girl on a pretty horse.
This is their
Looks like a mini Clydesdale.
Yeah, it does.
Being home meant celebrating Halloween with friends.
Act like you're scared.
And more importantly, family. Being home also means we got a new pup, meet Lola. Being home also meant Tristan had the opportunity for a private lesson with the Young Eagles program in Camdenton. And another thing being home brought was a new Jeep for our family to travel in. So we have to thank Aaron at Allegiant Automotive for making the buying process super easy. Basically had the car there ready for us when we got there. Now that we're home, we plan on spending time with family and friends and enjoying the holidays. But we do have traveling ahead of us, And we sure hope that you will click that subscribe button so that you can come along on our adventures after the new year. And you can still join the street crew over on Patreon so you don't miss anything. Thank you again for watching.